Hi, Dave Kennedy.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for meeting with me today.
Of course.
Well, I'm Amber, and I'm a realtor with eXp, and this is Dave Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
He's the CEO of Fidelity Land Title, which, if you don't already know about them and you don't see all my posts touting how fabulous they are, you should, because they're the best title company in town.
I certainly appreciate that.
But I have been talking to Dave more than he would probably like me to. Because I have a couple of properties right now that I'm helping a client sell, and it is a probate situation. It's not a great situation. There's a lot of things they're uncovering, and there's a lot of things we're dealing with. So Dave and his team have been like my source of expertise on this, and I am learning a lot, let me tell you. It's not necessarily things I signed up to learn, but I'm glad. So Dave, if you could give us some pointers, I guess, like, first of all, tell us, like, real quick, TLDR, what is probate anyway? Because I don't know if most people know exactly what it is.
Right. So after you die, you have assets.
Right.
Those
assets.
House. It could be anything. Right. House. It could be, retirement accounts. It could be, whatever.
Yeah.
And after you die, those have to be dealt with. A lot of times people have a will.
Yes.
That will tell what you do with the property.
Right. How it's dispersed.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Some people don't have will. Regardless, you usually typically have to open probate, which is a court case in a sense.
So even if they have a will, do they have to open probate?
Yeah, they'll have to.
Okay.
And they'll enter the will in.
Okay.
To the probate.
But if they don't have, what if they don't have a will?
Yeah.
Which is what I'm dealing with right now. This person suddenly died.
Right.
They did not have a will. They own 2 properties, and that's what we're kind of dealing with right now. So what happens if they don't have a will?
So if they don't have a will, you essentially, you have to have a, usually an expensive lawyer and a bunch of court filings, and you have an accounting of everything that the person owned, as well as all your debts.
Okay.
And then you deal with the properties and assets through the court system.
Okay. And whatever debts there might be too, which on these we found that it had some tax liens against it.
Yep.
And sorry, this is what happens. You get calls when you're a realtor, you get calls in the middle. So like this one happened to have like some property tax liens against it. And then also there were some other things that were uncovered along the way. And I don't want to give too much details, but that's one of the things that could potentially come out into this is like, oh no, because this person died, now it's gone to probate. And probate's not quick.
Right. So anytime you have a property that's in probate, you have to slow down what you're doing.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Don't try to hurry.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they take time they want to take.
Exactly. You're at the mercy of the court and how quickly they're moving, how quickly attorneys are filing things. Plus, in a probate case, they have to give notice to potential debtors. So there has to be a time period where people can come forth and say, hey, that person owed me money.
Okay. Oh, they died. Oh, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
I need to collect my, I got my Beanie Baby collection I sold to them.
So now with proper estate planning, you can avoid a lot of your assets going into the probate by doing designation. So like a retirement account, you can have transfer on death designation. The same thing with real estate. And that's always what we suggest people do is after you buy a property, meet with an estate planning attorney. And you can typically do something called a transfer on death designation.
Okay, transfer on death designation. You guys write that down? Yeah. Write it down. And transfer on death designation.
It's an additional document that we record in the chain of title that states if after I pass, this property goes to so and so.
Okay.
So
there's no question. Nobody's has to put it through. It still may go into like a probate situation, but there's because it's known who's going to get this. There's no question. No one's arguing over anything. Yeah. It may even speed things up a little bit.
Correct.
Too.
Yeah, because you're avoiding that asset out of the probate case, and you just do a confirmation. Filing with the court, transferring the property. Okay. You file it with the person's death certificate and transfer the property to who they designated to.
Okay,
so it just avoids the probate. So that's what we suggest to people. Everyone should do that because.
And now, how easy is that to do? I mean,
very easy.
If I own my house right now, it's in my name, it's in Amber Allred's name, and I want to make sure that it gets transferred to my cat.
Yeah.
Okay, not really.
Right. Yep.
My husband, my kids, whoever it is. then can I come see you?
You come to see me, and we'll get you in contact with our law firm, who can then prepare the document for you. It's similar to kind of like when you're signing your deed.
So notarize, pen to paper,
notarize. We'll get that recorded, and it's a public record.
Okay.
And then after you pass, like I said, then it's easy for whoever you're giving the property to then transfer the property into their names.
Okay, so they don't have near as many troubles. And
correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So sounds like it's kind of an easy peasy thing.
Yeah, it's something that everyone should think about doing if you own a piece of property.
I think people don't like, this is my armchair opinion, is that people don't like to because they don't like thinking about the death.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, I don't want to think about it. But the problem is like after you're gone, you don't care. You're dead.
Right.
But guess what? Everybody else gets to deal with this.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much. It's such a pain.
Yep.
I mean, this poor woman that is taking on the responsibility of this from her family member is dealing with so much more than she should have had to.
Right.
And so anyway,
brings
all right.
it all to light.
All right, so if there's any questions, come see Dave. Call me, and then see Dave, and he'll hook you up, and we can help you to avoid nasty probate situations. So
we've got a great estate planning attorney who could help you do anything from preparing a will to preparing an estate, to do these transfer on death designations, whatever you need.
He's the best. Okay, thanks, Dave.
All right, thanks for having me.